Give it up for Kevin Israel, everybody. Yes, what's going on, guys? How's everyone doing? Happy Saturday. Welcome to Woody's. In case you didn't know where the fuck we are, it's right there. Somebody's gonna forget and be like, where are we? Oh, right, okay, good. Oh, Jesus, I almost got lost. No, I don't know. Where am I? My career's fucking plummeting, that's where I am. My name's Kevin Israel. A lot of people ask me, is that your real name? Was that just a stage name? I was like, yeah, you know what I did? I decided to pick the Jewish stage name possible. Most Jews pick a less Jewish stage name. I decided to go the other way and really fucking dive into it. Here's the interesting thing though, the family name was not originally Israel. It was originally Izraelovich. My grandfather got here right before World War II. He was at Ellis Island filling out the little book. He decided to change the name to make it less Jewish. So he changed it to Israel. I would imagine right around May of 1948, he looked at the newspaper and was like, shit, they're all gonna know. Trying to Jew down your name by changing it to Israel is like farting and trying to cover up the smell by shitting your pants. It's not gonna work. Are there any other Jews in here? Any other Jews? One, good, nice. This is gonna go great. It's a lady too, maybe we can make another Jew, you and me. Are you here with somebody? Yes. Is he Jewish? No. She? Good for you, it's 2015. Eat all the pussy you want, I don't give a shit. We're not here to judge. That's all it took, just say pussy and you guys were gonna laugh? Way to go, Farmingdale, good for you. Setting the bar high. See how this is gonna go. I'm actually used to this though. I grew up in a town where I was the only Jewish kid, so I became like the token Jew. One year around 3rd grade, the teacher got up to the front of class and was like, class, quiet down. Quiet, because she had a microphone. She was like, tonight is a very special night. Tonight is the first night of Hanukkah, and we're gonna have our little Jewish friend, Kevin Israel, come up and tell us just a little something about Hanukkah. And I was in the back of class with my He-Man lunchbox going, Hanukkah? What the fuck do I know about Hanukkah? So I figured I'd just make some shit up. So I got up to the front of class and I was like, Hanukkah is a very special holiday to us Jews. It's a celebration of when Santa Claus kicked Hanukkah Harry out of Egypt. And for 40 years, the Jews strode across the desert until they came across a burning bush, which told them to go burn every damn Christmas tree out there, in your stockings, in your reindeer, in your Santa Claus. Your holiday's so much better than mine. 8 days of fun, my ass. I get pencils and socks. It was real tough, though, because the school was all white. So one year, the teacher got to the front of class and was like, class, quiet down. Tonight is the first night of Kwanzaa. And little Kevin Israel's gonna come up and tell somebody about Kwanzaa. And I was like, but I'm not black. She's like, shut up, it doesn't matter. Get ready next week for Ramadan, I'm sick of this shit. It's tough growing up Jewish though, and I'm gonna say this on behalf of the Jews, to all of you non-Jews, you guys win. Congratulations. You do, you win. Your holidays beat everything we got. And why? Because you're marketing geniuses with your holidays. If something's not fun, you just make some crazy shit up and sell it. I don't know, Easter's not doing too well. What do you got? What about a rabbit that shits colored eggs? Then you guys have to make everything fun and turn it into a celebration. Oh, a baby's born. What are we going to do? We're going to take him to church and dribble a little water on his head and then go have a party. Whee! You know what we do when a baby's born? Apparently you do. Any of you guys ever been to a bris before? It's sick. All the men stand in the back of the room like this. Nope, nope. And all the women get up front as close as possible going, cut it, cut it. And then the rabbi gets up and he always says the same thing. Now, the baby's gonna scream a little bit, but it's just because it's cold and wet. What? Apparently this guy's never been kicked in the dick before. This also happens at a bris. This actually happens. They take a little wine and they put it on the baby's lips. They put a little wine on the baby's lips and they say it's to numb the pain. Fellas, try something for me when you get home tonight. Have a shot of vodka. Hell, have 5 shots of vodka. Then walk over to your dresser, open up one of the drawers, stick your dick in it, and slam it shut. Let me know if it numbed the pain. He's not doing it, apparently. That's gonna be a weird. Baby, I'm not doing that, you know. It's. No, honey, stick your dick in the drawer. The Jew said to do it. Do it. We went out to Woody's in Farmingdale. This was a big night. Fucking put your dick in the drawer. Who's been married here the longest? Anybody got 30 years in? Anybody 30 years married? Yeah, what do you got? 44. 44? Give it up for 44 years of marriage. Where's he? Oh, he's the one, he's like leaning away from you, like, he's waiting to go on parole. He's like, 44 years, I'm almost done. I served my time. How'd you guys meet?
Bowling alley.
That's classy. Good for you. Bowling alley. What? Look at the size of these fingers. You realize what that means, right? Look at the holes in that ball. Get it? Figure it out. Come on. Well, how did he propose to you, man? Oh, this must have been a good one. Some shit. It was back at the bowling alley.
We went to Canal Street, he walked the ring, and...
That's fucking a shitty way to do it. Hey, you know what? We're in front of the fucking place, I got an idea. Let's just do this here. That's 44 years. 44 years. My parents have been married for 56 years.
Wow.
Yeah, they hate each other. I don't think they ever liked each other. My dad has become a narcoleptic. He can fall asleep anywhere, anytime, doing anything. He comes home from work, sits down in his chair, and it's just... And the sight of my father asleep causes some chemical reaction in my mother's brain that makes her go completely insane. And she gets right up into his face and starts going, Sid, 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 you're asleep. Sid, 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 you're asleep. Sid, Sid! I'm like, Mom, holy shit, relax. He's tired, he worked all day, he's taking a nap. She goes, oh no, because if he's asleep, he's happy. That's very sweet, Mom. My mom's crazy. I had a cold a few weeks ago, so I call her up, and my mom's like, oh, you're not feeling very well? Well, did you take your temperature? I was like, do we do that anymore? I thought that was just a way to find out if a kid was lying. Remember that when you were a kid? You're always rooting for 100? I used to hold the thermometer down by the heating vent. My mom would be like, you must be sick. It says you have 137. It's malaria. But my mom had to be like Dr. Quinn, medicine woman, and do it the most accurate way possible. Yeah. It was like prison rape at my house when you got a cold. She took me to the doctor once, and I'm sitting in the room with the doctor, and the doctor's like, well, Kevin, we should probably take your temperature, and he pulls out a thermometer, and I was like, whoa, doc, no Vaseline? And that was the day that I learned that Vaseline tastes like shit. So I go home, I'm like, Ma, you know they can do it orally now? She goes, maybe that's what they say, but it's not nearly as accurate. I was like, you know, Ma, I'm gonna take my chances. Nearly as accurate. Anybody on a date here? Anybody's dating? Doing a dating thing? Not married? None of all of you are, yeah? Where's your, you got the arm around her. How long you guys been dating together?
4 months.
Oh, so this is the good fucking time. This is when you're still like, that's all you're thinking about right now. This show's gonna be 2 hours? We could've been banging already. This is ridiculous. What the fuck is this? How'd you guys meet?
I introduced them.
I didn't ask you, lady. Did you bring your fucking lawyer with you? Were you friends with her or him?
Well,
Oh, both? Oh, so you were like matchmaker. I fucking hate you. I feel like I know everything about, oh, you know, you two should fuck. That's what I think you should do. She just hit him, which means they are totally banging, which is fantastic. Is it going good? So until tonight, until the fucking Jew at Woody's, everything was great. We had to get all involved in our shit. 4 months, that's awesome though. That's when it's new and exciting, right? You still get excited to see each other, you're just learning about each other, just figuring each other out. She's trying to figure out, does he have a good job? And he's just trying to get laid. She's trying to figure out, is he close with his mother? And he's really just trying to get laid. She's trying to figure out, is this going somewhere? And he's trying to figure out, is she psycho? And if so, am I still gonna get laid? I was dating one girl for about 3 weeks and I finally got her back to my house and we're sitting in my bed. It was that moment where clothes were gonna come off. And suddenly she looks at me and she goes, could you turn out the lights? I was like, turn out the lights? I just invested 3 weeks of my life into seeing your tits. I ain't turning your shit out. And if I did, the camera wouldn't pick it up. She goes, I'm shy. Ladies, let me explain something to you, and I mean this. The first time you take your shirts off in front of us, the last thing we're thinking about is any fat or moles or discoloration. In fact, the most we can muster in our tiny little brain is... turn out the lights. You don't get it. You guys don't get it. Whether we've been with you for 3 weeks or 44 years, every time you take your shirt off in front of us, we become a 12-year-old boy. She keeps doing it. Turn out the lights. We're so different, right, guys? We'll get naked at the drop of a hat, right, fellas? We don't give a shit. We could be on the highway in the middle of December with you. You could be like, I think I want to give you a blowjob. We're like, awesome, right here. Absolutely. No, I'm not waiting to go home. You want to put up curtains by then or something? Mom, get the camera. But the problem was we were educated differently about sex. We were brought up differently to think about sex. Run with me on this one. Women have been prepared for the penis since day one. Lollipops, popsicles, bananas. First time a guy takes his pants off, girl's like, ooh, I know this one. But guys, we have no fucking idea what's going on down there. Best thing we got was around 6th grade, a gym teacher took us into some back room somewhere, put up a poster of something that looked like a Klingon warship. Well, that's it, fellas. Good luck. Then we don't experience it for real until like 5, 6 years later. It's the middle of the night, we're in the back of your car with our hands jammed down your Ted-Ice pants, feeling around. Suddenly we touch something that feels like a wet peach. What the fuck is that? That was not in the diagram. I'm looking for a man in a boat or a pea in a pod or something. But you women are partially to blame for our ignorance because you don't tell us when we're doing something wrong. You just suffer through it. The next day you get together with all your little friends and you make fun of us. I don't know what he's doing. He just keeps poking and poking and poking. I don't know what he's looking for. But guys, we'll tell a woman when she's doing something wrong, right fellas? I used to date a girl that thought it was fun to flick my nuts. Yeah, that ended real quick. Finally one night I was like, hey Tyson, relax. It's not a speed bag. We learn about sex weird though. We learn about it differently. I asked one of my friends once how she learned about sex, and she goes, oh, well, one day my sister and I went to my mom and we asked her how babies were born. My mom got so excited, and she took us out on a special girls' lunch, and we talked about boys and sex, procreation. She gave us a book, we could ask questions. I was like, what the fuck is that? That would have never gone down in Sid Israel's house. I asked my dad once what a tampon was, and this was his response. Ugh, Jesus Christ. They're not for you, and don't ever use them. Which is exactly what he told me about beer and cigarettes. So a few years later, when I was hanging out with some older kids and they were talking about getting beer and cigarettes, I said, yeah, and some tampons. It wasn't a popular thing. It's tough, we do. We learn about sex weird. I learned what a blowjob was when I was 8. That is the correct response. That is messed up. It's actually not that bad. What happened was I was coming home on the bus and some older kids had just learned what it was and they were talking about it and I overheard them. And I was like, oh my god, that's disgusting. I'm never doing that. Oh, they do it to me. That sounds much better. But the little bastard talking had to say, just to make it memorable, he had to go, every woman does it. Your mother probably does it. Yeah. So that night at dinner, my mom was like, would you like some more peas? I was like, no, would you like some mouthwash, you filthy whore? And the term blowjob is really a misnomer, right? Like blowjob, that's a word coined by a woman. Blowjob, really job, it's work. Doesn't sound like a good job. It's not a career. It's like, well, Sally dropped out of high school and all she could get was a blowjob. Her boss is a real prick. I told my girlfriend that, she goes, oh, it's a job. I said, oh yeah? Well, start showing up for work or I'm gonna hire a temp. So I'm single now. I am single. I live alone. Any single guys here? Everybody single? Any single dudes? It's just me, really? Thanks for making me feel like the loser. That's cool. You guys, so you don't live, obviously 4 months together, you don't live together. You live alone, sir?
Yeah, I say, yeah.
No, pray tell, what do you? No, but I'm getting laid as much as possible, so I'm staying at her place. She's got one of those Posturepedic beds, it's much better. 4 months, you moved in, you piece of shit, way to go. Your mom must hate him, you know, he just stays there for sex, right? He's not the kind, he's moving in already, he can't get his own place? I like it. Every woman in here is going, I know that kind. We're gonna talk to her in the ladies' room. You guys met through a friend. Anybody try the online dating thing? Anybody do online dating? You can admit it. Come on, somebody here. You tried it? Yeah? What site did you try? Okay, yeah, that's the free one, you cheap bitch. You're not gonna get anything good unless you pay the $39 a month. Did you have any success from it? No? Yeah, it sucks, right? If you guys have never tried online dating, this is what online dating is like. Online dating is like eating at Denny's at 3 in the morning. Because nobody ever plans on eating at Denny's at 3 in the morning. You just end up there after a series of bad decisions. And then you walk in the restaurant, you look around at all the other people, and you think, oh my god, I'm so much better than all of these people. But you sit down and you open up the menu and you look at the pictures of all the food and you think, oh, this all looks fantastic. I'd order any of this. And then you order something and they bring it over and you're like, what the fuck is this? That's online dating. Right? Right? He knows. He knows. It's no fun. It's no fun. I do, so the mooch. Are you a good adult? Do you feel like an adult? Like, do you ever wake up and just realize you're an adult and be like, I still think I'm like 16. Like, I still behave in my head like I'm 16. Do you still feel like that? Here's how you can measure if you're a good adult. Let me ask you something, sir. When you go shopping at the supermarket, do you buy for like today, tomorrow, and the next day, or do you buy for like weeks in advance?
No.
Right, because you're a fucking kid at heart. This is why I noticed this. My two parents live together in a little retirement community. They're two 80-year-old Jewish people in this little house, and their pantry looks like a World War II fallout shelter. They have cans and cans and cans of shit. I just sometimes open and go, what do these fuckers know about that? Like, they're not telling, they're preparing for something, and they're not letting me in on it. Just cans of shit and saran wrap and tin foil, just and the thing is, they're 80. They're not gonna be around much longer. I'm gonna inherit all of that shit someday. The will reading is going to be like, and to our beloved daughter we leave the house, and to our other beloved daughter we leave the cars, and to our son who let us down at every turn in life, we leave 42 cans of kidney beans, 16 rolls of saran wrap. I do, my parents aren't too happy with it. I was a lawyer before I started doing this. Yeah, you know how happy my mom was when I became a lawyer? My Jewish son, the lawyer, she loved it, she told everybody. Now when people ask her how I'm doing, she goes, "Oh, Kevin, he's dead." Somehow, I don't know, I think I gotta do something adult. I'm thinking about getting a dog. Any dog owners in here? We got dogs? Yeah, what kind of dog you have? You have a Jack Russell Terrier? That's the most fucking annoying dog in the world. Were you like, what's the most obnoxious piece of shit I can get? I'll take it. You have a Jack Russell Terrier and a Shih Tzu? You're the worst person alive. You're like, you bought all of the worst shitty dogs. What are their names? Cleo and Zach, and you gave them people names. What the fuck is wrong with you? Has anybody got a big dog? Anybody got like a real dog? What do you got? A lab? See, that's a super white dog. That's what I expect from this room. I'm sure its name is like Jake or Roy or Chip or something. What's his name? Robbie? Jesus. Ronnie? Rocky? That's even fucking... Are you Italian? Oh, are you? Yeah, we're gonna fucking name him Rocky. It'll be good. Hey, fucking Rocky. A lab named Rocky. There's a Rottweiler somewhere being like, that little bitch isn't Rocky. I'll show you Rocky. Rocky. Fucking Cleo, what's wrong with you? Did you ever carry it around in a purse?
No, they're not that.
Oh, they're not that. Well, you got fat ones then, because they're usually pretty small. Any pit bull owners? Anybody got a pit bull? Oh yeah, there's always one white chick with a pit bull. He's like, I want a black dude, so I'm gonna get a pit bull, and it's gonna fuck me. What do you got? You got a pit bull? What's his name?
Her name's Abby.
Her name is Abby. She's dainty, and the dog's like. This is Abby. Did you rescue it?
Yeah.
That's nice. Give it up for rescuing a dog. That's the way to do it. Actually, the funny thing is, my ex-girlfriend had a pit bull Jack Russell Terrier mix. Yes. This thing was like a little Italian bodybuilder on crack. She's like, hey, what's going on? What's going on? But I'm thinking about rescuing a dog though, because I think it's the right thing to do. You should rescue a dog. Don't get a purebred. Purebred, do you know what purebreeding is? Purebreeding is you take the same animal and you just keep inbreeding it and inbreeding it and breeding it until you get the trait you want. And if that didn't work in West Virginia, it's not going to work with a German Shepherd. That's what I'm saying. So yeah, I'm thinking of rescuing a dog, but it's a process, right? It's not easy. Do you guys remember the pound? Remember going to the pound? You just walked in, there were a bunch of cages, you pointed at a dog, they're like, fucking great, take it, awesome. And you walked out with the dog. That was it, no questions. Now you have to rescue a dog. And there's an application, and there's a waiting period, and there's a background check. There's references for a dog. And the amount of time it's gonna take me to get a dog, I could have a Korean baby and an Uzi. References for a dog. I was filling out the application one night at 11 o'clock at night. The next morning, they were calling my references. I didn't have a chance to tell my references, they were references. My one buddy gets the call and he thinks it's a joke, so he's gonna joke back with them. He goes, Kevin's getting another dog? You know he's eating these things, right? Yeah. You know who doesn't have a sense of humor? Dog rescue people. I'm sure my one friend, the dog that I'm thinking about getting, he's like, the dog's name is Mr. P? That's a gay name. You don't want that. You can't get that dog. I was like, you can rename them. Like, I'm not going to name him like Chip, and one day he's going to be like, excuse me, I'm Mr. P. Get me the fuck out of here. I don't know what this guy thinks I am. But I don't like it when people name dogs people names. I used to work with a guy who had a golden retriever named Steve. Except he never told anybody that Steve was a dog. So one day he came to work and he's like, dude, I woke up this morning and Steve shit all over the house. I was like, sounds like your roommate has a drinking problem. Hey, you guys have been awesome. My name's Kevin Israel. Enjoy the rest of the show. One more time for Kevin Israel. Yeah. What a fantastic job.